Look, guys, it's a man in black. He's out there watching us right now. Look, I see you, guy. I see you. I'm looking right at you. Yeah, you're looking right at us, huh? The Lowe opened in 1901 at the corner of 4th and Main, near the site of what some believe to be the first battle of the American Revolutionary War. The Battle of Point Pleasant was fought on October 10th, 1774. The land was given to Andrew Lewis as part of his payment for military service during the French and Indian Wars. The hotel was built in order to serve the heavy river traffic that stopped in at Point Pleasant, with rooms on the 3rd floor set aside especially for tradesmen and rivermen. The hotel was first called the Spencer Hotel, named after a local judge, the Honorable J.S. Spencer. It was owned and operated by two brothers, Homer and Griff Smith. It cost $65,000 to build, with many of the modern-day conveniences of its time. There were 54 rooms in all 4 floors. The lobby featured a 30-foot high ceiling and a beautiful fireplace. The ground floor hosted a bank, barbershop, saloon, and a wholesale liquor house. The Lowe was the center of high society and lavish entertainment, and in the 1920s was known for its fine dancing hall. During the 1929 stock market crash, it abruptly ended the high roller era, and the Smith brothers were forced to sell to Homer Lowe Sr. He bought the hotel, and at the same year changed the name to the Lowe Hotel. The families acquired the Lowe in 1990 and began a restoration project that continues on. The ground level shops and services are long gone, but the lobby with its grand fireplace is still a gathering place for guests. So why is it so many ghostly tales come from not just the hotel, but from the town as well? Point Pleasant has a long and tragic past that plays into the mysterious happenings of the Lowe Hotel. Point Pleasant Riverfront Park is directly behind the Lowe, which has an amphitheater, riverfront walking trail, and beautiful murals along the floodwall that shows the town's history and the site of the first battle of the American Revolutionary War. This is also where Chief Cornstalk was said to have been buried. Chief Cornstalk was a Shawnee Indian chief that is said to have put a curse on Point Pleasant before he was murdered by colonists. Since then, strange things have been reported in Point Pleasant throughout the years. At 11:30 p.m. on the night of November 15th, 1966, 2 young couples from Point Pleasant, Mr. and Mrs. Roger Scarberry and Mr. and Mrs. Steve Mallette, were driving through the TNT area in the Scarberry's 1957 Chevy. They were riding the roads around the old TNT igloos as they pulled up next to the old generator plant. Then the Scarberry gasped. They all looked down the road and saw 2 bright red circles. Roger slammed on his brakes. "What is it?" Mary Mallette cried from her back seat. It was shaped like a man, but bigger. Roger said later, maybe 6.5 to 7 feet tall, and it had wings that folded against its back. But it was those eyes that got us, Linda declared. It had 2 big eyes like automobile reflectors. They were hypnotic. It was grayish in color and walked on sturdy, man-like legs. Roger stepped on the gas, and they shot down the road and headed for Route 62. Suddenly, they saw it, or another one like it, standing on a small hill near the road. As they drove past it, it spread its bat-like wings and took off straight up into the air. "My God, it's following us," the couple in the back seat cried. Roger turned into the next road, Highway 62, where they were doing like 100 miles an hour. Roger said, and that bird kept right up with us. It wasn't even flapping its wings. It followed us right up to the city limits. They finally made it to the police station, and the Mothman made it into legend. Or could it be the curse that was put on the town of Point Pleasant? Legend of the Mothman. Go on. Check them out. What do you think about that?
I think these two.
Yeah.
They're like his 4 teeth.
His 4 teeth.
Oh.
Yeah, he does.
And his ruby eyes.
Yeah, them eyes glow.
What do you think of him?
I like it. He likes made out of stainless steel. I think he is. This is really cool art.
Yeah.
Come here, I want to show you.
I think somebody took a lot of time making that statue.
Yes, sir. Check this out. This is what everybody talks about. Look at it. Look at it.
Oh.
Don't so close. This is what everybody talks about. Check this out.
I was butt.
His buns of steel.
Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah, get the camera on up there and them buns of steel. Oh, honestly though, look at the detail though that the artist put into the statue.
Yeah. He's got 3 toes.
Yep. Look. Oh my God, guys, look. If I can get it to focus. Look, guys, it's a man in black. He's out there watching us right now.
It's like he's trying to wave or, "Hello there."
I don't know. I think he's got some.
Top secret.
I see you, guy. I see you. I'm looking right at you. Yeah, you're looking right at us, huh?
He's an idol.
Anyway, that's the Mothman Museum, and that's the Lowe Hotel. Staying. December 15th, 1967 was a sad day for Point Pleasant. The Silver Bridge, which connected Point Pleasant to Galapagos, Ohio, had opened to traffic in 1928. But one of the eyebars had a small unseen defect. The faulty eyebar eventually cracked and began to corrode. About 5 p.m. on December 15th, one of these eyebars failed, setting off a series of failures that caused the bridge to collapse. It was rush hour, and the bridge was packed with cars. 30 vehicles plunged into the icy waters of the Ohio River. 21 people survived, but 46 died in the disaster.
Mrs. Foster, what was the first thing that you saw?
Well, I heard before I saw anything. I was standing right here in my kitchen preparing dinner, and my 2 boys came out the back door down the steps to get their bicycles. They got down to the bottom of the steps here, and they started screaming. We heard this terrible boom, and my boys looked around and saw the bridge starting to fall. Well, as soon as I heard the sound, I, of course, ran out the back door to see what was wrong with the boys and what the noise was. And as I got out my back door, of course, I could see what was happening, and I stood right here and watched the whole bridge.
What did the bridge look like?
Well, it's like my little boy said. It was just like you would build a bridge out of child's building toys, and then if you just take a stick and just knock the props out from under it, that's the way it went.
Did you see all the trucks and cars falling?
I could see part of them, yes, from where I'm standing, but of course where the trees and things are, I couldn't see too much.
The Silver Bridge tragically led to national changes in how bridges were inspected. Early in the months leading up to the Silver Bridge's collapse, multiple locals had reported seeing a mysterious creature in and around Point Pleasant. They described the legendary Mothman as a 7-foot tall beast with a wingspan of 10 feet and the ability to fly up to 100 miles per hour. Most people didn't take the Mothman sighting seriously at first. The local tragedy caused some to reconsider that the Mothman was an omen or a sign of a warning. The Lowe Hotel has reports of paranormal activity that has been reported throughout all of the hotel. The mezzanine between the first and second floor is home to one of the most famous ghosts of the Lowe Hotel. A beautiful but disheveled young woman is seen dancing to music only she can hear. She is barefoot, wearing only a nightgown. It is rumored that she is the ghost of Juliet Smith, Homer Smith's middle child and only daughter. She had fallen in love with a local boy, but her father disapproved of the marriage. The boy went on to marry another, while Juliet never did marry. During the taping of one sci-fi investigation about the Mothman, the cast and crew stayed at the hotel. Boston Rob, a skeptic, claimed to have seen her.
After we came out of Debbie's room, a couple of people were going downstairs, and there was all this commotion down at the bottom of the stairs. I'm thinking, what's happening?
Okay, what's going on here? I don't know, I just got scared.
And as I was able to figure it out, he thought he saw an apparition down the hallway of this very hotel.
He's freaking out, and really, for the skeptic to be freaking out, I'm getting kind of like, you know, he was pretty scared.
In fact, he was so freaked out, he didn't even want to talk about it or even stay in the hotel.
Because I hate it, I'm leaving. Did you see? I don't want to go up in this hotel and go to sleep because something weird's going on. And that's the best I can do to explain it.
Some say you can lure her out by leaving a single long-stemmed rose out on the mezzanine. On the second floor, a child between 2 or 3 years old has been seen riding a tricycle. Most often, a child is seen as solid as a real person and is so concentrated on riding the tricycle that the child makes no eye contact or interaction with any of the witnesses. Other times, only the sound of laughter or squeaks of the tricycle wheels is heard. It is greatly felt that a child is a residential imprint of one of the Lowe's children who lived and grew up in the hotel. The third floor is perhaps the most active. The first of such is said to be a former maid. Guests and employees have heard someone whistling when no one is around, and reports a sudden chill and senses that someone is watching them. Transoms over the doors are often found in the opposite positions than what they were once seen before. The next third floor ghost is of Captain Jim, who resides in room suite 326. Captain Jim was first reported in 2005 by a woman staying at the hotel during a local Mothman event. She returned to her room to find a man standing, looking out towards the river. She asked him his name and what he was doing there. He replied that his name was Captain Jim and that he was waiting for a boat. At the time, the woman noticed that the man had no legs and quickly fled. Research shows that a man by the name of Captain James Jimmy O'Brien was captain of the Homer Smith steamboat in 1915. Another claim is of a woman who stayed in the captain's quarters who woke up to a man standing at the foot of her bed. She painted his portrait and sent it to the Lowe Hotel, and the painting still hangs in the riverboat suite today. In room 316, some reports say that they felt a presence of someone unseen walking up and down the hallways, almost at a non-stop pace. Also on the third floor is a man with a beard wearing 1930s style clothing. He is seen frequently in room 314. Room 309 claims of a woman kneeling at the edge of the bed, and also reports of lumps in the bed, and occasionally the wind will blow in that room with no apparent source at all. Room 305. A guest captured a picture of a ghost outside of his room, down the hall. Room 202 has become known as the John Keel Room, where author John Keel stayed during the first and second Mothman festivals. Little activity has been reported in 203, but a photographic anomaly was captured in that room by another guest outside in the hallway by room 202. On the 4th floor is the ballroom. It is said that the sounds of a string quartet can be heard playing day or night. It is best heard at the center of the room, about 3 feet away from the stairs. In addition to the ballroom, the 4th floor also houses storage rooms. In one of the storage rooms is a rocking chair belonging to Mrs. Lowe's widowed mother. At one point, one of the Finley's daughters snuck up there for a cigarette and experienced the chair rocking on its own. The experience turned her from a non-believer to a believer in ghosts. I'll take you up there anyway, but I don't know. Like I said, I only got this little light on my phone, so we'll see what's going on. Man, it is hot up here. Man, these aren't really rooms. I just thought I heard something. Hello? These aren't really rooms. These aren't really rooms. These aren't really rooms. There is other parts of the hotel. Okay. That's the penthouse suite. Elevator. These aren't regular room tag. I guess they don't rent it out. Hello? Anyway, I smelled something that smelled like fire. Thought I smelled something that smelled like fire, like burning. If anybody's up here, I mean no disrespect. I'm just trying to take a few pictures and to say hello if anybody is up here. I swear, man, I thought I heard something. Hello? I don't think it was an echo. Hello? I'm gonna tell you what, I get the creeps up here. Is anybody up here? Numerous photographic anomalies of unusual light patterns and orbs have been taken by guests at the Lowe Hotel. Some have natural explanations, some do not. But it still raises an interesting question about what may walk the halls of the Lowe Hotel. Hotels can be a home away from home, a place of shelter, and a place of safety. But in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, you never know what you may wake up to. Maybe a ghostly captain standing over your bed. Or you may run into a flying Mothman if you're out exploring the town. So if you're ever in Point Pleasant, keep your eyes peeled for the supernatural. You never know what you may experience in Point Pleasant. You yourself may be the author of the next ghost or cryptid story if you're ever in Point Pleasant.